Guards and Spikes, Sydney, Henry, Tommy, Tyler shortly as we gentlemen are just a few days away from decision day, the end of the 2025 regular season. Can you believe it? I feel like the season has gone by quickly, Henry and Tommy. Tommy is like celebrating.
It finally worked.
Tommy's celebrating. He's clearly happy about it happening. Right, Tommy?
I'm glad that we really don't have to talk about soccer today. I think that we're just talking about celebrating a man that is taking his time to retire and enjoy himself. But before we do that, I've been thinking really hard on what to call this Wednesday, because I always like to call things Wednesday, and I have two. Obviously, the important one is it's a wishing a Brad Guzan a happy retirement Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
But the second one that didn't win, but I think we should say what it is what happened to Sydney's Buffalo Bills Wednesday?
You know what? Let's just move on. We're not talking about
Hold on. We got more important things to get to. But you have talked so much trash about the Atlanta Falcons.
I have not.
Oh, I am so glad.
Y'all thought this was a soccer podcast.
No, hold on. I know we'll get there. But this man has I got his tweets, because then I Googled the days of when he tweeted this stuff to find out what happened. These were blown leads. The Falcons. Wow. # Falcons. The Falcons, man.
It wasn't trash talk. Give me a break. That's not trash talk.
Brought the receipts.
Falcons fans are in their feelings this morning. Here's the worst tweet he ever had about the Falcons, everyone. You ready? Guys, Kyle Pitts is a good pick for the Falcons. What were you thinking? You jinxed it before it even started. So I had to take this moment. I had to take this 30 seconds to just say, we won.
Congratulations. I am not a sore loser. Congratulations on the Falcons winning against the Buffalo Bills.
So I want to ask you this. This isn't a joke anymore, but while you were there, because obviously it was a crazy win. I saw the videos of the fans going crazy after the game.
Yes.
Did it make you think about how crazy Atlanta United games used to be in that stadium?
I mean, it didn't really cross my mind until you brought it up, but I mean, absolutely. Like, I long for the days where Mercedes-Benz Stadium is on its feet cheering for Atlanta United. It's pretty sad that, we're talking about Atlanta United potentially playing for are playing for the Witherspoon on Saturday, but this is where we are. Hopefully that day is coming back where it's loud and matches what it was like in 2017 and 2018, guys.
I did that last year.
It's not long yet. Yes, you did. What did you do last year?
Well, last year I went to the game where they won in overtime against the Buccaneers. And I just remember seeing the crowd singing, doing everything there. And I was like, man, this really reminds me of like peak Atlanta United games in that stadium after a win, after MLS Cup, after coming back and winning a big game, winning the home openers, all of that. And it's like, man, we got to get the vibes back for Atlanta United games, because I suggested it. Atlanta United didn't listen to me, that they should make all tickets for this game on Saturday $17, because you need as many people packed in that Benz to celebrate one of the best of our franchise, because I am afraid to see how many people are actually going to be at that game on Saturday.
Or even better, make him $1 because it's his number.
We talked about that in the watch along. Omar and I were talking about that, and I was like, man, I wish he was like 11 or something, because they're not going to go for $1. But great minds.
I mean, the fans kind of deserve a little gift there, I think, for how crap the season has been. And
a win would be nice.
A win would be nice. If this is going to be the Brad Guzan send off, I definitely would like to see the Benz as packed as it can be, because for as crap as the season has been, and for as kind of meaningless as this game is, it is meaningful because it's the last game of someone who has been here since year one, who has seen this team through the good times, the bad times, a captain, a leader, and an icon, not just of Atlanta United, but of the U.S. men's national team and of U.S. soccer as a whole. So this Saturday, more than just the wooden spoon final, which I know we keep joking about a lot, it should be a celebration of an extraordinary human being and a really player.
It's nothing less than he deserves, right? And Tommy's holding up his spork, and we're joking about the wooden spork and the wooden spoon and all that, but it's nothing less than Brad Guzan deserves, right? He's been with the club during the highs and the lows, during the highs of 2017, 2017 to some extent. The debut of the club, he of course joined halfway through. 2018 MLS Cup, 2019 US Open Cup. We joke about AmFam Cup, Campeones Cup. We'll throw that in there as well, but he's been there for those highs and then the lows. This season, obviously, and another high, obviously, is, of course, the 2024 playoff run against Inter Miami. But then the lows this season, his injury, his Achilles injury, that sidelined him for several weeks, and then just things like that. But Saturday, while, like you said, Henry, is going to be meaningful, and while it's a time to kind of commiserate and think about what could have been this season, it's going to be a time to celebrate Brad Guzan. He is a legend. He is a club legend. He is an MLS legend. I don't think that's overstating it at all. And he's meant a lot to this franchise. He's meant a lot to this league. A lot of what I've been hearing from people, in my conversations with individuals is, here's a guy who grew up in the U.S., went to college, got drafted, played in the league for several years, went to the Premier League, right, for almost a decade, then came back to the U.S. to finish out his career. And I don't remember who was saying it, but he didn't see MLS as a pit stop for a future move elsewhere, right? He saw Atlanta as a home. His two youngest children were born here in Atlanta. His kids have been raised in Atlanta since 2017. This is home for Brad Guzan. And it's going to be sad on Saturday to see his career come to a close, but it's going to be a celebration as well for a great career, and not just in Atlanta, but throughout his professional career as a footballer.
Someone asked if Brad Guzan is going to be on, and he is not going to be on. But we have two great people that are on the show. Dax McCarty, we interviewed him earlier. And who else are we bringing on, Henry?
A gentleman by the name of Michael Parkhurst.
Yes.
So, I'm sure he has quite a bit to say about Brad. They spent the first few years of Atlanta United's history together here. The two main leaders, if I'm not mistaken, of this club. I mean, Parkhurst the first.
Lorenowitz too, yeah.
Parkhurst the first captain, and Brad took over shortly after Parky retired. But yeah, it's going to be good to kind of hear from them, both Dax and Parky, kind of their perceptions on Brad, because they got him at two very different times, right? Yeah. Michael Parkhurst had him in, the winning times in 17 and 18 and even 19, where, you had the trophies, you had the team and it's at its peak. And then you had Dax, who had him not at the worst point, because I would say we're at the worst point right now, but at a point where it wasn't necessarily like Atlanta wasn't the world beater that it was in 17 and 18. It wasn't the trophy going, competing force that it was back then, but it was still, memorable. I think I could speak for us when I say that last season, the end of last season, was very, very memorable.
Yep. No, definitely. And, against all odds, right? Nobody expected Atlanta United to do what they did, and Brad Guzan was a big part of that. And, it's going to be, I'm sure Parkhurst was rooting for them. I'm sure Dax obviously was on the field, on the pitch, so it'll be good to talk to him, just get his thoughts on it, or hear from him and get his thoughts on it. Tyler waiting on the wings. Before we do that, I just want to real quick mention scarsandspikes.com, your source for Atlanta United news, analysis, and opinion. Got a lot of great stuff coming up there, obviously, about Brad Guzan. Saturday's match against DC United, decision day. So we'll be talking about that. We'll be looking into that, previewing that. So go there for your Atlanta United news, analysis, and opinion in the offseason as well. There's also a link to our shop. Go there. Like I said previously, weather's getting cooler, so get a hoodie, get a hat, get a coffee mug, what have you, that helps support what we do here at Scarves and Spikes. Patreon.com/Scarves and Spikes, another great way to support us. All 3 tiers. 3 tiers get you access to our Discord, where you can chat about Lady United and more, all that great stuff. So that's another opportunity for you to support us. If you're listening to Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and iHeart, we are live Wednesday night, 7 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Eastern time on Monday, Sunday, 9 p.m. Eastern time, and of course this show, 7 p.m. Eastern time on Wednesday. So please like, subscribe, share our content on YouTube. Tyler is here, and he's going to join us. Tyler, you're on the road, so...
No, he's not.
Well, no. Well, you were on the road. You were on... No, that's what I said. You were on the road, but you're back home.
Interviewed Dax McCarty with Henry.
Yeah.
On the road. Well, to be fair, I was safe. I pulled over.
But you're stopped.
In South Carolina.
Fortunately. Where in South Carolina were you, by the way?
I have no idea. I was in North Carolina. I was in Raleigh the entire time, but I pulled over literally in the middle of nowhere, and I couldn't tell you what city I was in. I just was somewhere off of I-20. That's all I know.
Fair enough.
And I had cell service.
Good. Well, good to know. Because not a lot of places in South Carolina have self-service. So
not when you're out there.
Right. No, exactly. What was your first reaction when you heard about Brad Guzan retiring or announcing his retirement on Tuesday? I mean, you found out pretty much, I feel like, at the same time everyone else found out, right?
Yeah, more or less. I think I was it was like twofold. I think my initial thought was it actually happened. Like, we kind of expected it, right? And then my second thought immediately after that was like, well, even though I expected it still sucks. You know, like it's I guess it's almost like pulling teeth. It's one of those things where you know it's gonna hurt, but like you just gotta do it. And then when it does happen, you're like, yeah, it does hurt for a minute. And I guess it's just like it to me, it signifies like the entire first, God, at this point, almost decade of Atlanta United, because I mean, he came in halfway through the inaugural season, and he's been a part ever since. And so, even though Miggy is back, Brad is the one that's been here almost the entire time, barring those first like 2 or 3 months. So, like, I'm happy for him because I know that he had a long and like truly prolific career, but it was still hard to hear, you know?
Yeah. I mean, we were talking about it before you came out. He's not only a MLS legend, but not only an Atlanta United legend, but he's an MLS legend. I don't think that's overstating it. He's an American soccer icon, which is what one individual I spoke to, earlier today said he is an icon in MLS, and, started his career obviously in the league with Chivas, went to the Premier League, came over, and we were talking before you came on, right? He didn't see Atlanta as just a pit stop. He saw it as a home. Like I said earlier, his 2 youngest kids were born here, so he's been able to raise them, 4 kids in total. But this has really become a home for Brad, become a home for his wife and children. So he's really put down roots. He's really integrated himself into the community just in so many ways. Different charities, the Unified team, like win, lose, or draw, he was out there when the team was playing. Unified team was playing. Atlanta could have lost like 3-4-0 the first team, and then the Unified team comes out, he's right there, and he could have just as easily just left and said goodbye, I'm not coming, but he stuck around, and that just speaks to the kind of person that Brad Guzan is. It's pretty impressive. Not many people would do that, I think. So
yeah, and I'll say this because I know Park, you'll be rolling in. I think the biggest thing for me too is Brad Guzan. Like, you love what he did on the pitch because he is a legend. I mean, he has a handful of trophies just at Atlanta United to his name.
Yep.
But beyond that, like, you talk about him making Atlanta his home, and I mean, yeah, he was a dad before he got here, but he continued to be even more so of a dad after, and became part of the community. And I mean, you see the stuff he's done with children's, like you said, the Unified team, like all over the community. This man, even when he was injured, was doing stuff. And then we kind of talked about it with Dax earlier. We'll hear later, but like this man would go out, and just contribute in every aspect of the community, if it could be tied to soccer in the beautiful game, he would be a part of it. And he made Atlanta his home, and I think that's why, not why, but that's one of the many reasons why he's just so endeared.
Well, kind of give you our thoughts on Brad Guzan's retirement, but one person who probably knows him, well, not probably, but does know him better than the four of us combined. Played with him for several years with Atlanta United. Someone who needs no introduction. Michael Parkhurst, how are you, sir? Welcome back.
Howdy. What's up, guys? How's everybody doing?
Good. Good.
You look like you're traveling like I was.
I'm sitting outside a facility while my son has baseball practice.
Oh, nice. How's he doing? What position does he play?
He's doing great. Mostly center field and some second base.
Okay. Well,
yeah, he enjoys it.
Great. Well, good to hear.
Do you, Michael Parkhurst? Because you haven't looked like you've aged at all since you played.
Why, thank you. If I took my hat off, you'd see some more gray hairs probably, but I'll take it.
Yeah. No, but thanks for coming on. Obviously got to talk about Brad Guzan, his retirement, and what he's meant to the club. I mean, I know the two of you share a very close relationship even after your playing days. So just tell us, when you first heard of the news, what was your reaction?
It's about damn time. Jeez. But seriously, I was thinking, I mean, when he came back from the injury, I was just stunned, because we're the same age, and he went down with that injury, and I was like, that's got to be it. Like, there's no way you can come back from this at that age and get back to the level. And I mean, he did it. So honestly, I was kind of just assuming that maybe he's going to play another year. But yeah, I mean, I'm not that surprised, obviously, given his age and how the season's gone and things like that. But yeah, what a career. Pretty crazy.
So let's talk a little bit about him, because he arrived at Atlanta United in the middle of the 2017 season, right? At that inaugural season. Alec Khan was already in goal for that first part of the season. He comes in, he starts starting, but what was it like when he integrated into that locker room? Could you kind of describe what he was like and maybe your first impressions of him at that point?
Yeah, well, I had known Brad for a while, obviously before then, so he wasn't new to me. And I think there was a bunch of guys in the locker room that kind of knew Brad a little bit. I knew him better than probably most of the guys, if not all of the guys. But it was, I remember when he joined us, and Alec was playing really well. And I remember having decisions in the locker room thinking, man, is Tata going to put Brad straight in? Or, is he going to not play him right away? Which both sounded kind of crazy at the time, just because Alec was playing so well. And then, Alec gets hurt, and it just opens the door, and Brad just, starts playing and doesn't look back from there. But I do remember that. And, I think Brad brings a personality to the field and to the locker room that, it's a large life. He's a large person in general, but he's a loud personality in the locker room in a good way. I think that he keeps it lighthearted, likes to have a good time, but also is really serious on game day, and is not afraid to kind of get after guys sometimes when we're not playing well. So I think right away people respected Brad because he goes about his business, he does things the right way, and he's a good pro.
Do you have any fun stories about him that have been untold?
It's because of Brad. I know that you cannot scooter up to a McDonald's drive-thru and get served. So there's that.
Good to know.
Yes.
What's the backstory on that?
We need
yeah. What's the backstory?
You got to tell the full story, man.
It's one of my
First of all, Brad Guzan on a scooter is shocking anyway.
Yeah. I have a fear of scooters because of this night. We were actually here in Columbus, and we had a game obviously here, and went out afterwards and found ourselves scootering back to the hotel later on in the evening, and I hit something in the ground, and I swear I almost went head over the handlebars of this scooter, and my life flashed before my eyes, and so I'm like scared of these scooters now. But anyways, everything was fine, and we were hungry, so we decided, hey, maybe we can get some drive-through at McDonald's, and they did not approve of our vehicles, and so Brad was the one that. It was me, myself, Darlington, and Brad, and we obviously designated Brad to go try, and it was unsuccessful.
I'm just trying to picture Brad Guzan on a scooter now.
Yeah. We probably shouldn't have sent the big goon. They were probably scared.
What a trio, though. Like, just a moment in Atlanta United lore that has been untold. Like, that's hilarious. So I guess mine's kind of similar, but we talked with Dax earlier, and we were kind of chatting with him about his. He only spent the 1 year with Brad, but he had a couple of stories that were hilarious, and just really speaking to who Brad is as a person, which is amazing. But I guess when you stepped away and you retired, and then you continued to see Brad, you mentioned y'all are the same age. Going into that last playoff push last year, that kind of miracle run, did any of that and Brad's leadership surprise you at all, or did anything about that stand out to you that maybe just kind of brought you back to when y'all were playing together?
Well, the performance over the 3 games, I was talking to Doug the other day, and I told him that I thought that was the best 3-game performance of any player I've ever seen on a soccer field in any position in 3 games in a row. He basically won the series for Atlanta. It was pretty incredible. Like, all 3 games, there was just massive saves after massive saves, and that was. I mean, had Brad done that 10 years ago, I would have been less surprised. But to do it, at 40, that was just, as I'm a 40-year-old sitting on the couch watching, I'm like, holy smokes, this is crazy. So yeah, I mean, his work ethic and who he is as a pro and his approach to the game doesn't surprise me, but to do that, at such a big stage at the age that he was and everything, like, man, not many people can do that.
So really quick, I just wanted to kind of piggyback on that, but do you feel, because you kind of alluded to it earlier, but do you feel like he played some of his best football after he recovered from 2 what should have been probably career-ending injuries? Like, is that a testament to like who he is and maybe how stubborn he probably is?
Yeah, I think all good athletes have a little chip on their shoulder, especially when people count them out, right? And maybe he didn't get the contract he wanted, or he hears whispers of, hey, he's done, he should be done, he should hang it up, right? And it provides extra motivation, and especially for the top athletes, they just use that. Like Jeff Loreno, it's just used that his whole career, basically, just to prove people wrong. So in that sense, it doesn't surprise me that he was able to dig down and use that as fuel.
So I know this is the Brad Guzan episode, but you're in Columbus, and on Saturday, Darlington Nagbe, who's also announced his retirement, they're having a celebration for him. Are you going to the game?
I may try and get over there. We've got some stuff going on Saturday, but I'm going to try and get over there. But if I don't, I'm going to try and get over to their playoff game, assuming that they have a home game at some point.
Well, the trios, the Scooter trio is done. You're all done now.
I know.
We'll get back together and try it again.
Right.
Yes. Now will be a bunch of unathletic 40-plus-year-olds. Actually, Darlington's not 40 yet. Yeah, not as agile on the scooters probably if we reenact.
You could reenact it all in like get some motorized wheelchairs and just go up to the drive-through at McDonald's. That'd be fantastic.
Dang, motorized wheelchairs.
That'd be a great retirement picture for all of you to post up there.
No, that would be. That would get
I'm the idea guy of this podcast, so that's what I come up with.
Yeah, that's pretty good, honestly. That'd be pretty funny. I did have breakfast with D last week, and yeah, we talked all about it and stuff. But he's looking forward to retirement. He's ready. His body's ready, and yeah, he said he's looking forward to spending more time with the family and the kids and watching all their games on the weekends that he misses and stuff. So he thinks it's the right time.
Yeah, no, he's definitely a class act, and any Atlanta fan will say that ever since he left the club, there's been like this big hole in the midfield, and we've talked about this with you in the past about the midfield with Sleesh and William Bob, but he's definitely left an imprint on Atlanta United for years to come. Before we let you go, I have to ask you about Brad's career and where he fits into not just MLS lore, but American soccer lore. Obviously coming through the national team, playing with Chivas out of college, playing in the Premier League with Villa and Borough. Where does he fit into American soccer lore for you?
Yeah, pretty high up. He's had one of the longest, most successful careers, he's got to be probably 10, top 20 for sure, in U.S. soccer careers. So that's pretty darn impressive. I know that goalkeepers obviously have a little bit longer of a shelf life, but, he got thrown into the fire pretty quickly there at Chivas and, took a beating there and came out of it strong. So, really, really high up. I know that he was involved with the national team a lot. Wasn't always on the field for them, but was involved like so much. And that's still a big part of a team when you're pushing the number one. I know that he had plenty of games as the number one, but he had a lot more probably as the number two. And, filled that role really well too. So yeah, I think that he's left quite the mark, and I wouldn't be surprised if he's in the Hall of Fame someday.
What do you think is his next move? Is it broadcasting? Is it coaching? Or what do you think?
He's got a face for radio, guys, so let's hope not.
Well, he was a pundit during the Club World Cup during the summer. I'm sure you saw it.
I know. It's just scary to think about. We might see his mug more on our TV screens.
Hey, we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, I'm sure he's going to have lots of opportunities, both in TV, in front offices, with the league, with clubs. I'd assume he's got his choice of options there, and I think he's going to probably have a much different path than Darlington. I think Darlington's probably one of those guys that'll go off the grid a little bit, similar to like Clint Dempsey when he retired or something like that. And I don't think that'll be Brad. I think Brad will be front and center doing something in the game for a while.
Yeah, what a surprise, man. I'm sure what a surprise, Atlanta United fans. Michael, listen, we definitely appreciate your time. Happy to always have you on the show, and maybe in the off season, maybe next year we can get you back on to talk Atlanta United in 2026 and what's to come.
Absolutely. Let's get a win and avoid the spoon here this weekend, huh?
No, absolutely.
That'd be great.
100%.
Got to send Brad off the right way, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Mike, always a pleasure. We'll talk to you soon.
Sounds good. See ya.
Cheers.
See you, man.
See ya. All right.
Always great to have Michael Parkhurst.
Yeah, man.
On the show.
First ever captain of Atlanta United. And now we're sending off technically the third ever captain of Atlanta United. Yeah. But yeah, two of the people who have held the armband the longest. Let's put it that way.
Exactly.
But yeah, it's surreal to me that we've come to this moment. that I mean, I don't know. Like Tyler said, like I think we expected it to happen, but at the same time, I think there was like a part of me like in my head that was like, you think he might stay on for another year? Like, you think he goes for another one? Maybe. Nah. He seemed to like never step away. That's the thing about Brad and him always wanting to prove that he could do it. And I think that's admirable, honestly. That's something to really look up to. And yeah, it's great to say that he was a part of this club and a very big part of it.
Yeah.
I thought maybe why he didn't announce it a little bit earlier, but like he obviously hasn't been starting a lot of games, so you assume he has to be starting, right? Is there any chance he doesn't play this game?
No, I mean,
I think we
have you thought about this?
Like, I think the fans would riot if he doesn't start that game.
I was thinking about this on the way home.
Yeah, he start him and then bring him off in the 80th minute for Jaden. Let him get one final salute from the crowd. I think we'll see, but
do not forget how everyone thinks that they mishandled the Joseph Martinez last appearance for them, and how it was like.
Well, he wasn't retiring though, but
I understand. Everybody knew that it was his last game with the club, and
I get it.
Twitter was a mess, and they still talk about it till this day. I saw something on Facebook about it. Like you can't. He's got to play.
There's no reason not to.
No, he will.
Yeah.
Just have him play the whole game. Maybe like the last, like very last minute, like 89th minute or something like that. Maybe you take him off for his little kind of guard of honor, kind of saying goodbye to the Bens. Yeah, let him have his moment. He deserves it.
And that's the thing. I think, this has been a rough season, and everybody knows this. We're not saying anything new here. We're actually beating a dead horse over and over again. It's been rough, but I think the best way to go out obviously would be like with a trophy, right? But you're at the point now where this game genuinely does not matter. I mean, look, the wooden spoon is the wooden spoon. It is what it is. But there's really not a whole lot of pressure in this game. And so there's no excuse for him not to get every version of a curtain call that he can possibly get.
Yeah. And I agree with Parkhurst. He's pretty high up there in American soccer lore, right? Again, I already mentioned his time initially with Chivas USA, RIP, and then for him to not only go over to the Premier League, but to have a sustained career in the Premier League, first with Aston Villa, and then with Middlesbrough, with a loan to Hull City, I believe, kind of in between those spells, or later on in this time with Villa. But every player's dream, right? American player's dream is to go to Europe and have time in Europe. And several players have done it. Several players have gone over. Several players haven't done well, but players like Brad have had successful career. I mean, he went over there 2008, and then came over to Atlanta United in 2017. Obviously, before that was with Borough, right? But that's 11, 12 seasons in the Premier League, which is a very sustainable career for anybody, let alone an American-born player. And there's kind of this banter around American players in the Premier League and all of that, even more so back when he was over there. But I think he proved that path from college to MLS to the Premier League was possible. And not only was it possible, you could have a successful career there as an American-born player in the Premier League. So that's a bit of his story that is very important as we look back on the career of Brad Guzan.
Before you play it real quick, because I know you're going to play it, Tyler, since you missed it, in case you haven't figured it out, Jordan did here. And we've been bringing up,
I got to watch the game, which was nice.
Oh, it was great. But like the memes, like when you go back and you pull up meme tweets like of the past, I found another one, guys.
Oh no!
This is why I had to harass Sydney on this today.
Oh Lord!
October 6th.
This is about Brad Guzan.
I know, but we need a palate cleanser here. Well, it's not the most gut-wrenching loss in Falcons history in that building, so there's that.
You don't even know what I was talking about. Where are you? You have no idea. You have no context for that tweet, do
We're
you?
going way back.
What year was that? What year was that? Are you pulling
2019.
Up now? 2019. Yeah, they played the
Michael Parkhurst is still playing.
Yeah. Atlanta United was still good back then.
Oh, man.
It was 53-32 Texans.
Yeah. And
you want me to say that you don't trash talk this team?
You
tried to come in. I knew when I came in here.
It was true.
I knew when I came in here. You were going to be like, I don't talk any trash. And I told Tina.
Did I lie? Did I lie?
She goes, are you ready for it? And I go, I got receipts.
Did I lie? Was I telling a lie? It wasn't the most heartbreaking loss they've had at NRG Stadium.
I can still be trash talk.
NRG Stadium.
How long did you scroll to get back to 2019? Or
you just type in Falcons. Dude, look, this is all his Falcon stuff. We got a whole podcast for this.
Sydney, have you ever said a good thing about the Falcons?
I just did earlier. I said good win. Good win. On that note, we talked to but Henry and Tyler had a chance to talk to Brad Guzan. Not Brad Guzan. They had a chance to talk about Brad Guzan. That's what I'm trying to say, with Dax McCarty. Of course, Dax played with Brad in 2024. They crossed paths, I think. Yeah, in the Olympic team. They played in the Olympic team together a number of years ago. So they obviously go way back, and they have a relationship that has been there for a number of years before they both played for Atlanta United. So Henry and Tyler with Dax McCarty.
All right, guys, we're here with MLS legend and MLS season pass announcer, Dax McCarty,
everything.
Analyst. Yeah, I was trying to find the right A word, but there you go. What's up, Dax?
As long as you didn't say a-hole, we were going to be all right. You know?
We started off really, really well, but yeah, we're here to talk about, Brad Guzan, a legend of not just MLS, but U.S. soccer, who is now retiring after a over 20-year career.
Yeah.
Dax, tell me about Brad. You shared a locker room with him. You shared the field with him. Tell me about, him as a person and your experience with him.
Oh, man. I know we're on a little bit of a time constraint here, so I could serenade you guys and the Atlanta fan base for about 30 minutes about Brad. But I feel like people know him at this point. It's funny because I know Brad pretty well, especially after our time together last year. But I mean, even as a fan or as a supporter, the best way I can describe Brad is that if you've ever run into him at an event or at a game, or if he's ever signed an autograph for you, he's the type of person that would always make whoever he was speaking with feel like the most important person in the room. And I think that's the highest praise I can give to Brad, is that he always made time for everybody. It didn't matter if you were at the level of a superstar, if you were like a Tom Brady or an Arthur Blank, or if you were just a supporter, or if you were a little kid, or if you were just Joe Schmo off the street. He always treated everybody the same, and he always made sure to make time for everyone. And so I have so much admiration for how he is as a person, as a father, as a player, especially. One thing that I really valued in my career, and something that I value in players that I watch play now, is longevity and the ability to play for a long time at a high level. I just think that speaks to a skill and a talent level that people have to recognize, but it also speaks to a level of leadership and character that I just think is very important to have sustained success at the highest level for a long time. That's Brad in a nutshell. The ability to go into any locker room that he was in, be a great personality and be a leader and be authentically himself. He was that person, and he never strayed away from that. And so he was a really big reason why I decided to join Atlanta United for my last year as a pro. He was an asset in the locker room, a sounding board for me when I was considering retirement. He was one of the first people that I told that wasn't a part of my family. And he's just a really good friend in every sense of the word, and someone that I admire and respect a lot.
If there is anything from your time, and it doesn't have to be necessarily with Atlanta United, because I know you guys ran into each other in various situations beyond Atlanta. But if there is a story that you can tell that just kind of sums up Brad Guzan or epitomizes Brad Guzan, what would it be?
It's not one story in particular that sticks out, quite honestly, because I mean, there's so many little moments that we had together during our time in Atlanta. But it was just a bunch of little things, that I would always appreciate about him. Every time I walked into the training facility, he was on the massage table. And he won't appreciate me telling you guys that, because, you know, he prides himself on taking great care of his body and always in the gym. But the truth is, he was always on the massage table, like literally every single day. And I hope you guys clip this and send it to him, because I'm outing him for sure. But he had a standing reservation with the massage therapist every single day. And look, if you're over 40, I think that's fair. I think that, you know, you should have that. But just want people to know, he was one of the hardest working guys I ever played with in the gym, but he also had a standing reservation on the massage table as well. Sometimes at the detriment of myself being able to jump on the massage table and get a massage. And so I always used to rib him for that. We had some great moments together off the field. You know, we didn't cross paths much when we were both younger and before kids, right? And so I wish I could have crossed paths with him when we were a little bit younger and could have maybe shared more nights out together, because I know he would be a great time to share a few beers with. But throughout our time, I mean, I had an appearance with him and Tim Howard where we got to go out on a boat and we got to hang out and talk about leadership and talk about values. And, you know, we went fishing and none of us caught a thing at all. But I'm pretty sure Brad was the only one that broke his fishing line. I think he caught like a log or something and ended up breaking his line. So I'm a better fisherman than he is, even though I didn't catch any fish. I didn't break my fishing pole like he did.
There you go.
And then we just shared a lot of fun moments together in the hydro rooms, like hot tubs, cold tubs, you know, sharing stories and sharing, you know, different moments through our career where we valued it. Brad was there for my first ever national team cap, which was a really special memory for me. It was just a lot of little moments that add up over time that really make you appreciate the person and the player that he was.
Yeah, and you know, if we go back to last season, right, that was a very memorable season to be at Atlanta United. You know, that playoff series and you know, beating the odds against Miami. You were there. You know, Brad obviously was a huge protagonist in that saga with, you know, his incredible saves. But what was it like kind of being part of the team in that instance, being there with Brad? Kind of tell me about kind of all of that. Take me inside that locker room.
That was one of the most special moments, I think, of my career. And obviously I don't want to speak for Brad, but I would imagine that had to be up there in his career as well. So as a player, you always remember the trophies. Look, that's obvious, right? You're going to remember the trophies that you've won. That's a no-brainer and something that for sure should be at the top of Brad's list, at my list. But then there are other moments that are special for different reasons. And that Inter Miami series last year, it was special to me for a lot of different reasons. One, because of the fact of, you know, we had absolutely no business winning that series. Nobody gave us a chance. And look, I'm not going to put you guys on the spot here, but if you guys are being honest with yourselves, you probably went to bed at night thinking there's no way Atlanta United has a chance to beat this team. And fair enough. That's what a lot of people thought. But if you remember about that season last year, we had Miami's number. They only beat us once that year. I think we played them 5 times. They only beat us once, and it was after the play-in game in Montreal where we were just exhausted and we had
that was like unfair.
Yeah, but again,
like 4 days later or something like that, wasn't it?
It was. And so, but we matched up really well with that Miami team, and we needed Brad to be at his best to win. And that sticks out for me because as players, you try to stay away from the noise. You try to stay away from what people are saying about you on the outside, whether it be extremely positive or extremely negative. But it's hard to miss sometimes the noise around myself, me being too old to contribute, or Brad being too old or too injury prone, or not being the same after his Achilles injury. And, you know, you should hang up the boots, guys. And it's hard to look past that, because sometimes you see that and it's frustrating and it hurts. And I think for Brad, he had a pretty damn good season up to that point. That was his moment. That was his shining moment for me in Major League Soccer. Right there. People calling for him to retire, to walk away. He had already won an MLS Cup. He had won a U.S. Open Cup, a Campeones Cup. He had won pretty much everything that you can win in Major League Soccer. And yet still, that moment for me, looking at him, was like, I can still do it with the absolute best of them in Major League Soccer. Like, literally put the team on his back, make saves, look agile, look young, look motivated. And then, look, I can't, in good conscience, do this interview without mentioning Netgate, where he gets pushed into the net, and it's still in my mind one of the funniest moments I've ever seen on a soccer field. Now, at the time, he was furious, and rightfully so. He was pissed. That moment for me, as far as playoff lore goes for Atlanta United, that should go down in history, like right below the trophies. Sure, all the MLS Cup wins that are going to come in the future, 2018 MLS Cup win, great. The Brad Guzan net moment should be up there for Atlanta United fans. It's just such a seminal moment seared into our brains and our memory. I was up till 3 a.m. after that series ended, watching it over and over again, giggling like a little schoolboy in my hotel bathroom, because my kids and my wife had all stayed with us that night. It just, that moment, I'll never forget that. That was such a crowning moment for me, for Brad, just to see how motivated he was to continue to prove people wrong. That's what you have to do when you get older. You have to be able to just constantly motivate yourself to prove people wrong, that you can still do it at the highest level. I'll never forget that for me, and obviously for Brad too.
Did you ever go back and like show him the video of that?
Well, I made
his reaction.
I made it a point to get him on the Major League Journeyman podcast as soon as possible. Like, we have to get his fresh reaction to that. And so we watched it back on. We watched it back on the podcast. He walked us through what was going on in his mind and the craziness that was happening there. And, you know, that was for the Major League Journeyman podcast. You know, that was big, right? Getting Brad Guzan's fresh take right after the game. And just like hearing it from his perspective was really special. And I hope that in due time, you know, after the kind of the shock and the I don't want to call it frustration, but the sadness of retirement kind of wears away, because everyone will go through that. I hope he can look back on that moment and just laugh, because it was so funny. He was so mad, and he couldn't get out of the net, and he was like doing Matrix type stuff to get out of it. And Suarez was yelling in his face. Like, it was just such a memorable experience, I think, for all of us on the field. That was really special.
Yeah, it's funny you bring that up. And I know you have to roll here. I know you have the kids. I'm doing the same thing.
Dad life.
Yeah. It was funny. We were making fun of the whole Brad situation the other day. At one of his games, he scored a goal, but as he scored the goal, he tumbled and literally replicated exactly what Brad did last year. But I think you bring up that moment that, to me, in a lot of ways, sums up, you know, having watched and covered Brad, obviously, since he came to Atlanta in the halfway through point of the first season. Like, I think he thrives in a lot of ways off criticism. I think he thrives in a lot of ways off, you know, people thinking that he can't do it still. He came off those 2 injuries a couple of years ago, and I thought he played some of the best soccer he's ever played. And kudos to him. And, you know, I agree that from the Orlando decision day match, I was there. I remember Rob Valentino coming up and hugging me and picking me up, and hearing Brad coming up the locker room and all of y'all coming up the locker room, like screaming. It felt like you had won a cup. And I was like,
imagine that moment from my perspective, like not knowing whether that was going to be the last game I ever played in my career or not. And then having people on the, like, seeing Duncan McGuire score. And then I'm like, all right, that's it. And then it goes to VAR and it gets called back. And then I'm like, okay, great. And then I'm looking at the sideline, like, what's going on? And they wouldn't say anything to us on the field. And it's because Rob Valentino said, hey, I don't want to know. We have to win this game and then let the chips fall where they may. And then when the final whistle blew, I looked at the sideline and everyone was celebrating. I was like, no way, we just did that. So whirlwind of emotions. Like, I feel like in a year's time in Atlanta United, I mean, I got 5 years worth of memories, right? But
and your hometown.
Yeah, but you don't go and succeed and thrive in England, the pressure cooker that is the Premier League, if you don't have what it takes mentally, if you're not mentally strong. And that is what Brad is. I mean, yes, great person, excellent character, tremendous leader, but really strong mental fortitude to fight through tough moments and to persevere. That's what he also should be remembered for, along with all the other great qualities that I just listed that he has. The ability to bounce back from criticism, the ability to bounce back from frustration, the bounce back from injury, like you talked about. Just someone that I have a ton of respect and admiration for, just because of who they are and how they represented themselves throughout their entire career. You know, you can't find a negative thing to say about a Darlington Nagbe. You can't find a negative thing to say about Brad Guzan. Like, those two guys, how lucky is Atlanta United, and how lucky are Atlanta United supporters to have witnessed two of the best players, not just in Major League Soccer history, but American soccer history, to represent their jersey, their colors, their fan base. You know, really, really special times, and you can only hope as supporters to find people like Brad to be able to represent your club. That should be the goal of every organization. So, yeah, can't say enough special things about him. I know that it should be a celebration. I hope you guys will be at the game on Saturday. I mean, I hope Brad gets the send-off that he so thoroughly deserves. I hope he starts and plays the entire game. And I'm actually getting chills just thinking about people saying "Goose." I mean, it just it's going to be emotional for sure for me too, because you want your friends to go out on a high note. So I certainly hope he can win and play well.
Yeah, so many wonderful moments, so many wonderful memories. Hopefully we get a few more of those on Saturday and what would be his final game. I can't even believe that we're saying this, but yeah, his final game. And Dax, I know you got to go. I know parenting duty calls, but before I let you go, I have to ask you, is there room on the MLS season pass desk for Brad Guzan?
Oh, always. But I told him, I was texting with him the other day. I said, buddy, you're going to need to spend a lot of time in the makeup chair. All right. That's, obviously that's the banter we have between us, but I think Brad would thrive in any role that he wanted to try to pursue after he retires. He's done the media thing before. He did the Club World Cup this summer. He's the special type of personality to be able to go and thrive in whatever role he is. I know he'll be involved in the game somehow, some way. I'm not the boss. I don't make the decisions, but if the boss asked me my opinion, I said, let the big grizzly bear join the desk. He would be excellent. Just a tremendous personality and a funnier guy than he lets on in media. Yeah. I've seen some of his interviews. He's pretty boring. I got to be honest. He keeps the cards close to the vest. But if you know Brad, he's got another side to him where he can let loose, and his banter is up there with the best of them. So I absolutely could see that if they offered him the role and he wanted to do it, no question about it, we'd make room for him.
Absolutely.
As long as he gets introduced as the big bald wall when he comes on the set.
And you get him his own massage table.
Exactly. Yeah. Bradley Wright Phillips has been advocating for another bald person on the show. So.
There you go.
Perfect.
Well, he's a perfect candidate. But thank you so much, Dax, for your time. Thanks for the stories and all that. And yeah, we'll be looking forward to seeing what this send-off for Brad Guzan will be. Obviously a legend of the game, captain for Atlanta United for many seasons. And again, just a huge figure in the American soccer landscape. So thanks, Dax, for talking with us about this.
My pleasure, guys. Always a pleasure to come on the show. You guys do a great job. Keep covering the team.
You.
Enjoyed it.
Thank you so much.
I feel like there's a common thread. Tommy wasn't ready.
At least I still have a shirt on. I'm okay.
Yeah. At least I feel like there's a common thread between what Mike was saying and what Dax was saying. What I've heard a lot about Brad over the past few days is, and even before he retired, is that he would make a great broadcaster. He did, I mentioned it earlier, the Club World Cup for TNT Sports and DAZN over the summer. Did the it was the AmFam Cup, right? He did with Kevin and Dan a few years back. So he obviously has that experience, and I could definitely see him doing that. I mean, he has the personality for it. He would definitely fit into any studio environment, whether that's MLS Season Pass, whether that's as a pundit on MLS 360, what have you. But I can certainly see that.
You imagine MLS Season Pass with Brad, Dax, Kevin.
Yeah,
basically all like the Atlanta United alum.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
So
exactly.
I mean, it'd be pretty cool, but also because that they would be pretty darn good at it, and it'd be a fun time. So yeah, it's just something that I would be interested to see for sure.
You got Breck Shea coming up as a special guest, and Jurgen Damm.
Ozzy Alonso's on the Spanish side.
Right. Yeah, Ozzy's on the Spanish side. No, absolutely. That's a good point. But I feel like it's already a landed takeover to some extent up there in the Northeast. At the studios at WWE, by the way. Tommy, did you know that?
I do know that.
WWCD is?
I wanted to ask Kevin that, but I don't know how that whole situation ended. But I wanted to be is it weird that you now work in the WWE building, but you don't work in WWE or MLS? What a crazy you're right. Oh yeah, you leave your job, but you now have to go work your new job in the exact same building.
Does he cross them in the hallway and
stares them down?
Yeah.
There's a moment where The Rock and Messi could have just passed each other in the hallways. It's crazy.
I would like to see the size comparison now. The height.
I mean, sure. Oh, okay.
Height. Yeah.
I was smelling what you were cooking.
No, you were. God damn it. All right, end the show. Roll the credits.
Guys, we have a couple of things coming up that we got to talk about.
Yes, we do.
The pre-match show, I mentioned that early. Did I mention that early? No, I did not mention that earlier. The pre-match show, 4 p.m. at the Sydney by Hilton Hotel, the Nest on 4 for Decision Day. So we'll be there. We'd love to meet you. If you're going to be at the match, we'll get you out in plenty of time for the pre-match ceremony. I hear that they're asking fans to be in their seats by 5:30. So we'll get you out in plenty of time to get over there. But we'll talk about the match against DC. We'll kind of look back on the season reluctantly. And look forward to meeting you. So if you're going to be at the match, please stop by the Nest on 4 bar inside the Sydney by Hilton Hotel and say hello. We'd love to have you. If you're not going to be at the match, or if you're going to be running a little late, we'll be streaming, of course, on YouTube here on the Scars and Spikes YouTube channel. So hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, just for a reminder of when we do go live. But again, if you're going to be in person at the match, please come say hi, and we'd love to see you. We're doing something else next week, Wednesday, the long-rumored Waffle House episode, gentlemen. It's going to be interesting. I've won 5 minutes from my house.
Interesting.
Tyler has Tyler has 20 down there in McDonough, Georgia.
Yeah. I'm about a 20-minute drive in Ohio.
Tommy's 20-minute drive. Henry, what about you?
Very, very close by, 5 minutes.
I was about to say, I would probably walk.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're going to hang out there at our local Waffle Houses. I know some of you have been asking for it. But
Gray and
Jackson might be doing it too.
We're going to have 6 people on the screen on YouTube.
And we're going to teach Tommy how to order Waffle House hash browns finally.
Dude, I'm going to get so much chocolate milk.
Yeah.
Well, you talk about trying to figure how to fit people on the screen, man. I'll tell you, with Henry and I, we had some fun the other day when we were kind of screwing around with the different things. You could be there. I like clicking buttons. This is my favorite. This is my favorite. I listen to you.
Big on the screen.
I listen to you, Big Head. Everything that you say up there, I will listen to.
The one sad Bills fan.
Right.
Oh, this is I broke it. You got to fix it. I'm sorry. I went too far. Okay.
I got it. No, but we'll be at the Waffle House, our local Waffle Houses. So it's going to be kind of a visual experience. So if you're listening on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and iHeart, watch on YouTube. We'll have to have you watch on YouTube. Watch on Spotify. We'll post on Spotify the video after the show. But it'll be a visual experience, guys. So definitely check it out. We'll stream it on YouTube as we always
experience.
do. 7 p.m. and the tasty experience, but we'll stream it on YouTube, 7 p.m. Eastern time, Wednesday, October 22nd. I don't even know what we're going to talk about.
That's
I mean, we're going
for 2025.
Well, guys,
how much this season sucked.
I'm not saying it's going to happen because I don't know these things, but
yeah,
if there's something that happens, there might need to be an emergency go live, emergency.
Yeah.
I mean, how emergency Waffle House? Like, do we all run there, or do we change it up? Like, we all go to Outback or Applebee's.
Well, I'm sure we'll pivot.
Well, I'm sure because there's no chance in hell that a Waffle House has Wi-Fi. There is zero chance. Like, there's probably like,
right.
You know, there's probably some plugs like you plug an Ethernet cord into. That's probably like how you would have to do it there. But we could do a practice one if there's an announcement about someone named Bonnie Ryla. I'm sorry. I took the thing way too early tonight. Way too early. But yeah, we could if it's announced. Let's meet at Applebee's.
If there's a big thank you at the end of the season,
yeah.
If there is a thank you, we might be doing emergency here, emergency spaces, smoke coming from the top of Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Like all the things could be happening. Just keep an eye out.
Yeah, no, for sure. We will update you accordingly if it happens.
But no matter what, I gotta say,
go
no matter what, y'all make sure you're staying on scarvesandspikes.com because we've got all the stuff coming out. You know, we have an off season that's going to be busy, and we're going into a World Cup year.
Yeah,
which Atlanta is a host city, so lots of stuff going to be going up on the website.
More to come.
And by the way, it seems like the U.S. men's national team is going to be playing 2 games here in March, which is pretty cool. Portugal and Belgium is the other one that I heard. That's pretty
Red
cool.
Devils.
More games in Atlanta for the national team because this is their home now, right?
Yeah.
What are those days?
De Bruyne and
sometime in March. We don't have the exact dates right now, but it's sometime in March.
Well, that makes me think about the schedule for Atlanta United. Starting to already think about 2026.
Mm-hmm.
Does that mean that maybe they go on the road during those weeks? So maybe they start the season at home? Hey, look, that's all I got to look forward to is when I'm planning my trip for the home opener. That's all I got left.
Yeah.
Man, I hope they're not playing through the international break. I think they kind of have to because of the World Cup, but
I don't know.
That's going to be brutal.
We'll see.
Oh, actually, we don't even know when the season's going to be starting next year. It could be even more weird.
Yeah. I guess announced when Emily's schedule release.
Like mid to late December. Isn't it usually mid to late December?
I think around like the 12th, 15th, something like that.
Yeah. So
that's got to be real difficult.
No, exactly. Yeah.
But before then, we have so much to cover, like the super draft and the re-entry draft and the free agency and everything else.
Waiver draft.
The waiver draft.
Yeah.
All the drafts, man.
And waiver draft day 2.
Right. Waiver draft day 2.
Electric Boogaloo. Yeah. So we have so many things to cover here. And, you know, we're here to give you all that content, all the articles and videos and potentially rage if there's a super draft pick that then gets traded to DC or Montreal or something.
Don't listen, Gray. I know you're listening right now. Just hit X. Hit X right now. And then we got the Christmas episode as well.
And Cash Furs team says in the
which
chat.
Atlanta has surprisingly done 0 of Cash Furs.
Maybe
I thought they would do more of them.
We'll see. Maybe this will be different. How do you feel about DC, guys?
Whatever. Brad Guzan, retire. I hope it's great for you.
Hope Brad gets like 10 saves or something.
Pretty much all I care about on Saturday.
3-0
Atlanta. That's of course. Well,
sure.
I still we gotta briefly hit on DC, so that's briefly hitting on DC.
DC is a mess. They played earlier to a very thrilling 0-0 draw, which I think was a loss for everyone involved in watching it. It's this wooden spoon final that we've been joking about. Whoever loses is officially the worst in the league, and that's to me again. This game doesn't matter a whole lot. I would like to see new stuff though. Again, I like this last Miami game was a massacre, but at least we saw some new folks, right? we saw Dominic Chanquis for the first time since what was it, like May, April that he played.
Yeah.
We saw Cooper Sanchez for significant minutes, and he was pretty good. He was all right. Yeah, we saw we saw Sal Mazzaferro for a lot longer than we thought we were going to see him. Thanks, Dion Gregerson. I hope you're doing all right. But yeah, that's the kind of thing for me, is in these games that don't really matter a whole lot. That's kind of what you want to see, is the new stuff, see what you got going for next season. So hopefully we see some of that. But something tells me that they kind of want Brad to go on a win. So I think they're going to put it all in. By the way, guys, did you see that Alexei Miranchuk scored for Russia?
Yes, Bolivia? I did see that.
Yeah. So I have been saying it for a while that I think they should play him as a striker, or a second striker at least, Alexei Miranchuk. Put him a little bit closer to goal and take advantage of his shooting. I think it's worth giving it a shot, y'all.
We'll see. Maybe next year if he's still here. Real quick, what are you guys' favorite memories of a favorite memory you have of Brad Guzan? A favorite memory you have of Brad Guzan? Whoever wants to go first. I can go first. Tommy, if you want to go first.
Well, I was just saying, I remember going to my first MLS game here in Columbus at the old Crew Stadium, where there was probably about 95 of us in the stadium. Oh, trash place. But there weren't many people at that game. I thought it, like, MLS was the minor leagues. Like, you see Mercedes-Benz Stadium on TV and it packed, and you're like, then you walk into the stadium and there's nobody there. But the entire game was just fun. It was my first game, but I just remember at the end, the only player that like came over to where all the traveling supporters were, and thanked everybody and waved. I've got a picture somewhere on my phone of it. It was just it was a cool moment, and I as someone that was their first game, I thought that was pretty nice.
Tyler,
he does it every game now too. I mean, I'll just say he does it. Go any stadium, even if you lose, he still goes over and says thank you for coming to the game, and that's a great ambassador of the team.
Yeah, definitely speaks to the kind of player he is, like we've heard from Parky and Dax. Tyler, what about you?
Yeah, for me, so there was a moment back in, I don't remember. I think it was, what was it, 2022? When did the chicken and rice incident happen? Was that 2022?
2022.
Yeah.
So, because of the way that things have been going, coming out of COVID, going into 2021, 2022, the media attendance at the training ground had kind of wavered a bit. And, in some way, shape, or form, one of us was there and has continued to try to be there covering this team at the training ground. And at the time, it was just a handful of us. I think at the time, it was like me, Joe and Sam, Doug, maybe a couple of others, but it was very minimal. And then all of a sudden, boom, the chicken and rice incident happens.
Yeah.
And the next media availability at the training ground, that place was packed.
Yeah.
And so we're getting ready for the typical interviews. And I don't even remember who we were interviewing, but Brad is wrapping up, goalkeeping practice, like off to the side. Most of the other team has already gone. And he comes, and I feel like he might have been being rehabilitated at the time. I can't remember, but he comes across the training ground. And from the other side of the main training pitch, we hear him yelling as the cameras are live, the mics are hot. He goes, "Oh, y'all decided to show up now, huh?"
That's typical.
It's so Brad, and it's I get it, because it's one of those things where, unfortunately, media can thrive on negativity, and and I think that's why we have to criticize this team in 2025, obviously, or we're not being fair to people that watch us and listen to us. But like, I don't enjoy being negative.
Yeah,
I don't enjoy it, and I know fans don't enjoy it. And I thought it was appropriate, for him to kind of call everybody out and say, like, hey, essentially, man, I wish the media was covering this team. Yeah. I wish the media was covering this team the way that they were, pre-COVID.
Yeah.
And things were nice and peachy and rosy, but something to be said for folks sticking around when the team has not been great. But Brad's going to always be the one to call it out.
No, for sure. Henry, what you got?
Man, I mean, my absolute favorite Brad moment has to be him flailing in the net because it was just too funny. No, and really that whole game where he's just like, I think so many Brad memes came out of that. Not just him in the net, but like the meme of him and Suarez, just like whatever. Like that was kind of funny to me, but yeah, I mean, for me, pretty much any interaction with Brad was just him being him and very unfiltered. I think he was the most unfiltered of the whole team. He wasn't afraid to kind of speak out and say things. And there's one that sticks with me, and I think it was it start of 2024? I think it was start of 2024, San Jose. Where that game was, Atlanta was losing, and then the two Thiago Almada friggin' bangers to win the game. And I think it's Doug that asks Brad, like, hey, so that game, y'all were down, and then y'all kind of had to come back at the end, like the last minute to get the win. Does this kind of remind you of last season where things were kind of iffy like that? And then Brad immediately shut him down. I was like, don't talk to me about last season. Don't bring that up. Like, we're not talking about that. We're talking about this season and whatever. Like, he shut that down immediately. And in a sense, like, I was like, man, that is such a Brad thing to do. And a leader thing to do too, to like, shut up the talk of, oh, the season's going to be the same as last season. Like, oh, we're not going to, live up to the expectations. Like, nah, he shut that down. And I think that aspect of his personality is a contributing factor, a main contributing factor to why the squad has so much respect for him as, a teammate and a leader, because like they know that he's going to have their back. And the other thing, I'll tell you another thing, and this was from earlier this season. I think it was also Doug that asked, like, that's what so here's the story. Right. They were training, players were training, and then there was, I can't remember who, but several of them had like a pink jersey on, or like a pink training vest on, or something like that. And so we asked him about it after the game, or not after the game, after practice. And Brad was like, oh yeah, it was we did a team building thing. It was a punishment for them losing it. And then I think it was Doug that pushed on, was like, what was the team building thing? And then Brad just kind of like was like, I don't remember the exact answer, but it was basically something like, it's kind of none of your business. Like, that's more or less, yeah. So yeah, it kind of shows his respect for the intimacy of the locker room and the group. And yeah, just I think that I have a huge amount of respect for a guy like that, who has, frankly, like the balls to kind of stand up to the media and to kind of, in a sense, defend his teammates like that.
Yeah, he wasn't a jerk to the media. He wasn't a jerk to the media or anything like that.
Never, no.
Yeah, but yeah,
that's the meme.
Yeah, no, but he wasn't afraid to push back sort of the narratives, sort of to your point, Henry. But he was just very respectful to the media. He understood their role. He understood why they were there, and of course, he had a little fun. He had a little banter with them, and again, he wasn't afraid to push back on narratives that he didn't feel were appropriate to discuss, in fairness to him, which is what I appreciate about him. Played maybe close to the vest at times, which is definitely his prerogative, but he was always open. He was always accommodating with the media. I don't think he ever turned down an opportunity to speak to the media, even after losses, right? And that just kind of speaks to the sort of person that he was. Favorite memory has to be, the playoff series against Miami. It's just a turn back the clock performance for sure. Vintage Brett Guzan, a player toward the end of his career, like we thought, hey, this might be it for Brett Guzan, and then he, like was mentioned earlier, he pretty much single-handedly won the series for Atlanta United, just with save after save after save. I feel like any other keeper would struggle with that situation, but We saw Brad Guzan just have a tremendous series, a tremendous time against Miami, and ultimately Atlanta winning the series. So I feel like that's a lasting memory of mine. MLS Cup, of course, being in the building for that, being in the building for US Open Cup. But I feel like the playoff series was when Atlanta United was backed against the wall. No one gave him a shot. And he, again, helped them win that series almost single-handedly. Omer saying in the chat, the unified squad, how involved he was. So we mentioned that earlier, just how he loved the unified squad being involved with them. But yeah, so many memories that we could speak about Brad Guzan, but those are just a few. And if you go to scarfsandspikes.com, you have an opportunity to leave a message of appreciation for Brad Guzan. Several of you have already done that. Thank you so much. But yeah, feel free to do that. There's a link right there on the website just to leave a note of appreciation, because I'm sure all United fans owe a lot to him throughout his career with Atlanta, throughout his MLS career, throughout his full professional career. So he deserves his flowers. He deserves a tremendous tribute on Saturday against DC United, and it's nothing less than he deserves. It is nothing less than he deserves.
Absolutely. So all at once, guys. I will remember. Henry, let's go.
You were gonna say goose, like make it.
I did not know where that was going at first.
Well, this felt like the Sarah McLachlan perfect. I will remember you. Like as I listen to Sydney talk, these beautiful words. I'm like, first. It's time. Let's put the music on in the background. You either do it when there's a story like that, or there's a sad dog looking in the window. That's the only times you play those.
No sad dogs here.
We're not going to do that on YouTube. We'll get copyright struck.
Yeah.
I know. That's why I wanted Henry to sing the song. That song was made before he was born.
Yeah. Go, Tyler. Sorry.
No, I'll just throw this out there too. One, is piggybacking really quick on what y'all are saying about how he handled the media. From that perspective, obviously, like super appreciative. But more so for me, I remember, and this is like my thank you. Well before media stuff, well before content, journalism, any of that. Being just a fan, and a lot of the games, a lot of times I would have to listen on the radio, and I would have. You'd hear Mike and Jason calling the game. And of course, we all know Mike's, score, like that's his thing. But so many times did I get almost that same hype from hearing him yell save when Brad would do what he did and do what he did best. And, it's just, we talk about kind of the emotions that soccer brings, and obviously the goal scoring is the most fun. Like the bends when Atlanta's playing well and scoring goals, there's nothing like it. But that place erupts when Brad is out there making saves as well. And so he deserves just as much credit and praise for making the bends the atmosphere that it can be. Maybe it's not right now, but it'll get back there. But a lot of that goes to Brad as well. And as a fan, before we ever dreamed of doing any of this stuff, and I was in a totally different career at the time, I remember so many times hearing his name coming out of Mike and Jason's mouth and hearing save, and it would just make me so happy and feel safe for a moment. So but no, congratulations, Brad Guzan, man. It's awesome.
Agreed. Tommy, you got something?
Yeah, I know you talked about it on MLS Monday, but Darlington Nagbe, real quick. I know he hasn't played for us a while, but it really changed how we play, and we've been struggling ever since. And if I hear the Darlington replacement, I think that should be retired now. I think it's official. With Nagbe retiring, we can no longer say the Nagbe replacement. That is gone. We will never bring that up ever again.
Yeah.
But, I mean, a guy, I mean, I think Dax was the one that said, like, or you look at the trophies that you won. A guy won a lot of trophies, man.
Yeah.
A lot of trophies.
Yeah.
So congratulations to him as well.
What do we think Brad's Waffle House order is?
I don't know. He has this retirement press conference on Thursday. Maybe someone will ask him that, or on Saturday after the match. I'm sure he'll meet the media Saturday after the match.
I think it is though. Like it's got to be.
It's got to be smothered and covered, right?
Well, that's hash browns.
But
But I'm curious, like the waffle itself.
Yeah.
I feel like there's something special. Like maybe he puts like chocolate chips in it.
Maybe.
Or pecans.
Maybe.
I feel like he's got like a little razzle dazzle.
Yeah.
Going to shock everybody with his Waffle House order.
Yeah. Maybe one day we can
invite him. Invite him to the show on Wednesday.
Waffle House.
I'll give you the address of the Waffle House.
Yeah.
Come hang out. We'll do the show. It'll be fun. And you have no other media obligations.
Right.
This weekend anyway.
Exactly.
I got a Waffle House shirt for this.
Oh yeah.
Uh-huh.
You gonna wear it? Nice. I can't wait to see it. Can't wait to see it. Henry, where are you on social media?
At H.A. Higita.
Tommy, where are you on social media?
I'm everywhere.
What's your handle? Handles, I should say.
At Brad Guzan's #1 fan.
Or Tommy ATL 96. Either one.
Too.
Either one.
I go by that at night. Yep.
Yeah. Tyler, where are you on social media?
When you put the cape on.
Yeah. And the mask.
ATL Pilgrim.
I'm at SH Rights on X and Blue Sky, SidH.soccer on Instagram and Threads. Scarves, the letter N, Spikes on X, scarvesandspikes.com on Blue Sky, Scarves and Spikes, Instagram and Threads, Facebook.com/scarvesandspikes. If you're listening to Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and iHeart, please rate us 5 stars. Leave us a review. Let us know how we're doing. If you're watching on YouTube, if you haven't already, please like and subscribe. Share our content so you know whenever we are live or post a new video. Thank you, Brad Guzan, on a tremendous career. And I'm sure you'll get the send-off you deserve on Saturday against DC United.
It's got to be 1-0.
One nothing
because then nothing else. Without him, I mean, and he has like 35 saves.
Like 35 saves.
Yeah. I think DC has 35 shots in that.
Trying to kill the guy before he retires.
I think they've been holding out on us, and they are going to come out. It's going to be like Iceland from Mighty Ducks 2 coming out at him, or the seniors when they're taking on the freshmen. And just trust me, he's going to stop them all. And
like Tim Howard against Algeria.
Yeah, so DC is not going to want to get the wooden spoon. So they're at the end of the game. It's 0-0. And what's going to happen here is, oh man, this is getting good, guys. This is getting good. They pull the keeper because they need to win. Brad gets the ball and he kicks it. All the way in.
Atlanta wins 1-0.
Brad has a clean sheet. Brad Guzan scores the only goal. Cue the Mighty Ducks music. He knows
Brad scores on Saturday. We might all have to shave our heads.
Yeah, for real. Yeah,
I'll definitely shave mine.
Amazing.
And the fact that it's against his old nemesis from the Premier League, Christian Benteke.
Yeah.
Ooh.
There's a former teammate, right?
Stories. Well, I mean, both.
Wait, how old is
Benteke? How old 30? Is Benteke? Can't be that old.
34.
Are you for real?
Yeah.
Yeah, Benteke.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, it's former teammate. They played at Villa.
Yeah, that's wild.
And they, of course, against each other.
Yep.
When he was with Liverpool and Palace too. But yeah.
Nice.
It's written in the stars. I can't wait.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I got to go Google the Rock's link. You guys have a good night.
Thanks, everyone.
Bring in this.